Have you ever noticed how people seem to unravel after being around you? Their confidence falters, their spirit dims, and they find themselves lost in the shadows of their own inadequacies. It's because they dared to stand too close to something they can never possess, your light. You leave an indelible mark, shifting their energy and forcing them to confront the emptiness they tried to fill with what only belongs to you. You've always been the one they sought, though they'd never admit it. Your presence, your energy, undeniable and rare, was the beacon that drew them in. They came cloaked in smiles, disguised as allies, whispering words of loyalty. Yet behind their eyes, there was hunger. They didn't come to lift you up. They came to siphon your light, to bathe themselves in what they could never create on their own. These were not accidents. They saw your brilliance, your potential, and plotted silently, draining you inch by inch. Each interaction, each conversation, they weren't just friendly exchanges. They were tactical extractions. Your words held power, your presence radiated influence, and they fed on it. Under the guise of friendship, they tapped into your vitality, subtly taking what they could not generate within themselves. You thought they cared, but care was never their goal. The truth, they envied the effortless way you shined, the way you created success from thin air, how opportunities followed in your footsteps. You were a force they couldn't replicate, so they sought the next best thing, to take from you, to chip away at your light until it dimmed enough for them to feel superior. They wore masks, smiling as they siphoned your energy, leaving you heavy with their shadows. You felt it, the inexplicable fatigue, the moments where your mind felt foggy, the confusion of why your luck seemed to sour. It wasn't coincidence. The moments they grew brighter, you grew dimmer. They used you to fill the empty spaces within themselves, but in doing so they left you depleted, disconnected from the very force that made you powerful. It was subtle, insidious, like a slow poison seeping through your veins. The more you gave, the more they took, and the less you recognized yourself. Where once you walked with certainty, there was hesitation. Where you once created effortlessly, now you struggled. Their whispers of support were laced with the intent to siphon your energy, leaving you in a fog, unaware of how deeply you had been drained. But it was never about care. It was about conquest, about taking what they could never own, no matter how desperately they tried. And when they left, you felt it. The weight of their absence wasn't freedom, but the hollow reminder of everything they'd stolen. Yet what they don't know is that your light cannot be extinguished, only hidden. Each time you shined, they pretended it was a reflection of their influence. When you soared, they convinced themselves they were the wings beneath you, when in truth they were the anchor that quietly tethered you to the ground. They stood in your light, knowing it wasn't theirs, but relishing in the illusion that it was. They became louder, more confident, as if your success was evidence of their own worth. But deep down they knew they could never hold what you have. They could only steal fragments, never the whole. They could borrow your shine, but they could never sustain it. Now that you've gone, the truth of their emptiness is laid bare. The light they stole, that delicate energy they siphoned from you, has left them in ruin. Without your presence to mask their inadequacies, they are confronted with the hollow shells they always were. The brilliance they paraded as their own has faded, and in its place, an ugly truth emerges. They feel it in their core, a sense of collapse, of decay. Their ego, once inflated by the energy they fed upon, has withered. Their confidence, which once glistened falsely in your light, now crumbles into dust. Every stolen fragment of your power has dissipated, leaving them exposed. You were their mirror, reflecting back an image they desperately wanted to believe in. But now, without you, they are forced to face their true selves, stripped of the illusions they clung to. And it terrifies them. Their once vibrant energy has turned brittle, like a crumbling facade barely holding together. What they took from you wasn't just your light, it was their ability to hide from their own darkness. Now, with nothing left to mask it, that darkness swallows them whole. Even their physicality betrays them. The confidence they borrowed from your presence has vanished, leaving them awkward and diminished. The charisma they wore so easily in your glow now slips away, revealing something coarse and unappealing beneath. They feel it in every glance, every reflection. They are no longer the people they convinced themselves they were. Their skin feels heavier, their movements sluggish, as if weighed down by the loss of what they could never truly own. They see themselves in the mirror, and it's not a pretty sight. Emotionally, they are wrecked. The sense of control they once felt over you, over your energy, has slipped through their fingers. They are left only with their own inadequacies, their own failures, now magnified without the mask of your brilliance to hide behind. What they tried to take from you was never theirs to hold, and now the price is clear. They are left in a void of their own making, spiraling inwards, confronted by the stark reality of their emptiness. You were the source they never deserved, and now, without you, they are lost to the darkness they sought to escape. You were the source of their fortune, the hidden force that drew good things to them. They prospered not by their own merits, but because of your light. Without ever acknowledging it, they fed off your energy, pretending their success was self-made. Yet beneath the surface they always knew the truth. Your presence shielded them from the harsh realities they now face alone. The moment you withdrew, they were exposed, left to reckon with the emptiness they'd been hiding behind your brilliance. What they didn't understand is that your light was never something they could keep. It wasn't meant for them. You were the magnet for the fortune they claimed as theirs. Every opportunity, every spark of luck they encountered was drawn by your energy, by the radiance you unknowingly poured into their lives. Now that you've reclaimed what was always yours, they are left stranded. The world doesn't bend toward them anymore. Doors that once opened easily are now firmly shut. They find themselves wandering in the shadows, without the glow of your presence to guide them. Their security, that false sense of importance, was always an illusion built on your foundation. Now it crumbles beneath them. They look in the mirror, and the confidence that once radiated from them has vanished. What remains is a hollow version of themselves, ugly and bare. They feel it in every moment, the weight of their own inadequacies, the ugliness of their true selves now stripped of the light they stole. The masks they wore so confidently are shattered, and they stand exposed, vulnerable, unable to outrun the reality they had always feared. They can no longer escape the debt they owe for feeding on your energy. Each time they manipulated you, drawing from your strength and using it as their own, they were building an unpayable debt. Now with you gone, they're drowning in it. The fortune they once stole from your glow has evaporated, and they're left bankrupt, emotionally and energetically. They try to recreate the life they had in your shadow, but without you, it's impossible. The world no longer bends to their whims because their source of power, of attraction, was never theirs. You were always the root of their success, and now without you, they are left to face the demons they've kept hidden for so long. Their ugliness, once masked by your shine, is now all they see. You were the source of their fortune, the hidden force that drew good things to them. They prospered not by their own merits, but because of your light. Without ever acknowledging it, they fed off your energy, pretending their success was self-made. Yet beneath the surface, they always knew the truth. Your presence shielded them from the harsh realities they now face alone. The moment you withdrew, they were exposed, left to reckon with the emptiness they'd been hiding behind your brilliance. What they didn't understand is that your light was never something they could keep. It wasn't meant for them. You were the magnet for the fortune they claimed as theirs. Every opportunity, every spark of luck they encountered was drawn by your energy, by the radiance you unknowingly poured into their lives. Now that you've reclaimed what was always yours, they are left stranded. The world doesn't bend toward them anymore. Doors that once opened easily are now firmly shut. They find themselves wandering in the shadows, without the glow of your presence to guide them. Their security, that false sense of importance, was always an illusion built on your foundation. Now it crumbles beneath them. They look in the mirror, and the confidence that once radiated from them has vanished. What remains is a hollow version of themselves, ugly and bare. They feel it in every moment, the weight of their own inadequacies, the ugliness of their true selves now stripped of the light they stole. The masks they wore so confidently are shattered, and they stand exposed, vulnerable, unable to outrun the reality they had always feared. They can no longer escape the debt they owe for feeding on your energy. Each time they manipulated you, drawing from your strength and using it as their own, they were building an unpayable debt. Now, with you gone, they're drowning in it. The fortune they once stole from your glow has evaporated, and they're left bankrupt, emotionally and energetically. They try to recreate the life they had in your shadow, but without you it's impossible. The world no longer bends to their whims because their source of power, of attraction, was never theirs. You were always the root of their success, and now, without you, they are left to face the demons they've kept hidden for so long. Their ugliness, once masked by your shine, is now all they see. They never realized how much they depended on you to carry the weight of their darkness. While they walked in the glow of your presence, they quietly offloaded their demons, bad habits, unresolved pain, festering addictions, into your spirit. You absorbed it all, unknowingly becoming the vessel for their toxic energy, while they flourished in the false light of ease and comfort. But now, with your departure, they are left alone to confront the monsters they've neglected, and those monsters are tearing them apart from the inside. Their energy is drained, a hollow echo of what it once was. Without you to filter their negativity, they are suffocating in the very poison they created. The light they once thrived on was never theirs, and without it they're left exposed, vulnerable. Their spirits are withering, and the decay is evident in their physical form. Their bodies now reflect the ugliness they had hidden for so long. Exhaustion paints itself on their faces, their movements become sluggish, and the sharpness they once had fades into a dull, lifeless shell. What they see in the mirror now is not the person they showed to the world, but the broken, drained reflection of someone who has lost the energy they fed on for so long. You were their lifeline, whether they admitted it or not. They siphoned your strength, your positivity, and left you with the burden of their unresolved issues. The addictions they couldn't break, the emotional wounds they refused to heal, all of it was dumped on you while they continued to shine, living off the energy you gave without realizing it. But now that you've reclaimed your light, the consequences have come crashing down on them. They can no longer hide from the ugliness that has always lurked beneath their surface. Their bad habits, once masked by the illusion of success and charm, now consume them. Their addictions take hold stronger than ever. Their unresolved pain bubbles up to the surface, and there is no one left to carry it for them. What was once a slow, invisible decline has now sped up, leaving them spiraling into their own self-destruction. The ugliness they feel is no longer just internal. It seeps through their very being, marking them physically, emotionally, and energetically. The light they stole from you was never theirs to keep, and now they must face the darkness they've become. The rage that simmers beneath your surface is not just a passing storm. It's the fire that burns away the remnants of their influence. The frustration you feel is not weakness, but strength returning to its rightful place. It's justified, carved from the betrayal of those who took what was never theirs to claim. They siphoned your energy, your brilliance, leaving you drained and questioning your own worth. But now that anger is the fuel for your healing. Every moment of frustration is a reminder that you are stepping back into your power, reclaiming what was stolen piece by piece. As you pull yourself free from their grasp, you will begin to see the cracks in their facade. The decline is inevitable. Their false empire, built on the energy they stole from you, is crumbling without your light to sustain it. You were the foundation they leaned on, the silent strength they exploited, and now without you, they are spiraling into the abyss they once avoided. Their ugliness, long hidden beneath the glow of your stolen energy, is now exposed. Their lives unravel in ways they cannot control, as everything they tried to escape crashes down on them. The demons they thought they had escaped now stand at their door, relentless, no longer shielded by your strength. Meanwhile, your rise is unstoppable. As you reclaim your energy, the light within you grows brighter, stronger, more unyielding. Each day as you heal, You can feel your power returning, no longer diffused by those who once stole it. The strength that once fueled their false successes is now yours again, and it courses through you with an intensity that cannot be ignored. Your energy, now untethered from their grasp, is reshaping your world, bringing clarity, peace, and a power that is purely your own. They cannot stop the collapse that is coming for them. Their ugliness was never yours to carry, and without you to bear it, they are consumed by it. Their manipulation, their deceit, the shadows they cast, none of it can touch you now. You are rising beyond them, beyond their reach, and every step you take toward your healing brings them closer to the reckoning they tried so desperately to avoid. You were their source, but now you are your own, and they are left with nothing but the darkness they created. Now that your light is no longer theirs to siphon, they are forced to face the darkness they've been hiding from all along. Stripped of the energy they used to mask their flaws, they stand alone, exposed to the weight of their own misdeeds. Without your radiance to shield them, they must confront the ugliness they created, their manipulations, their selfishness, the destruction they brought into your life. There is no escape now. The very demons they cast into your shadow are clawing their way back to them. They're scrambling, desperate to find a way back to the light they once took for granted, but that door is closed. Some will seek redemption, not because of any real change, but because they realize they are nothing without your energy. They will try to prove their worth, pleading for your forgiveness, hoping that somehow in regaining your favor, they can once again access the power they no longer possess. But their motives are transparent. They don't seek healing, they seek survival. They crave the comfort of your light, not because they've earned it, but because they fear the weight of their own failures. Their lives, once falsely elevated by the energy they drained from you, are collapsing, and the cracks in their foundation are deepening. They can no longer hide from the consequences of their actions. Every lie, every betrayal, every selfish decision is now magnified. The weight of their choices bears down on them like a storm they cannot outrun. The masks they wore have disintegrated, and in their place is the raw truth of who they are. It's breaking them down piece by piece, as they struggle to reconcile the version of themselves they pretended to be with the emptiness they truly feel. The ugliness they once buried deep within has risen to the surface, and now it consumes them. Their struggle is futile. Without your energy, they have no source to replenish what they've lost. Their once confident facade crumbles as they are forced to look into the mirror and see the reflection of everything they tried to ignore. Their mistakes haunt them, their regrets weigh heavy, and they can no longer rely on you to carry the burden. You were their salvation, and now, without you, they are left to drown in the darkness they created. The reckoning has begun, and the light they once stole is now forever out of reach. You must guard your energy fiercely now. In the past, you let your light shine freely, assuming those who came near meant no harm. But not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Some will try to attach themselves to you, hoping to siphon off your strength like parasites cloaked in kindness. When they offer blessings, do not blindly accept. Return their words with your own power, making it clear that their intentions, no matter how they dress them up, hold no sway over you. Bless them from afar, but hold your energy close, untouchable and intact. There are those who will still try to manipulate you, sensing your renewed strength, hoping to find a crack in your defenses. They believe they can still leech off your power, but you are no longer the easy target you once were. You have seen behind their masks, and now you know how they operate. When they approach, thinking they can once again drain what they desire from you, they will be met with a force they never expected. Your awareness alone is enough to break their hold. The moment you see their game for what it is, their attempts fall flat, powerless against your knowledge. You've realized the truth. You don't need anyone else to reach the heights you're destined for. You've carried the weight of others for too long, mistaking their presence for support, when in reality, they were pulling you down. Now, you stand free of that burden, and it's clear that your potential was never tied to anyone else's approval or manipulation. You are enough, more than enough on your own. Your power is within you, not something to be validated by others. Their manipulations can't reach you now, not unless you allow them. Moving forward, understand that your light is yours to protect. It's a force that can't be stolen, only shared when you choose. You no longer need to worry about being taken advantage of because you've reclaimed the authority over your energy. You walk through this world knowing that your power is your own, that it cannot be drained or diminished by anyone else. You are enough, always have been, and now, more than ever, you are untouchable. You are rising, chosen one. While those who sought to steal your light descend into the chaos they've created, their manipulation has backfired, and they now face the consequences of their own greed. You no longer carry the weight of their shadows, and as you reclaim your power, you stand taller, stronger. The energy that once sustained them is gone, and their facade, built on deceit and dependency, crumbles as you thrive. Every step you take forward solidifies your independence, proving that you are always more than enough on your own. Stand firm in this truth. You are untouchable now, and no one can manipulate or diminish your light unless you allow them. Their attempts to drain you have failed, and you've emerged unbroken, more powerful than before. As their world collapses, yours is expanding, full of potential that was always rightfully yours. Share your story. Let others know how you reclaimed your power and overcame those who tried to take what wasn't theirs. Your strength is an inspiration, and your rise is just the beginning.